Hello everybody and welcome to your Aries season tarot reading. This is going to be for the time frame of March 20th through April 18th, and Aries season starts the new zodiac year, and there is a lot of new energies coming with the start of this new zodiac year. From now until March 2020, Saturn is moving into Aquarius, and I've done individual readings for each of you about that transit. There's a link for each sign below if you have not seen that yet, because I just go way more in depth about that transit than I will in this particular reading for everybody. But that's going to be powerful. There's going to be a lot changing in this world as Saturn moves through Aquarius over these next 3 years. But something that's interesting about Aries season is it's filled with air energy, much more than fire, because we have the sun in Aries, and then we have the new moon in Aries on March 24th, and then towards the end of Aries season, Mercury finally moves into Aries and ends that long transit through Pisces and Aquarius retrograde that we've been going through since March, or I guess I should say, I think it started in February. So we're finally wrapping that up, and then everything else is air. We have Vesta and Venus both moving into Gemini during Aries season. We have Saturn moving into Aquarius, and we have Mars also moving into Aquarius. And then we have the full moon in Libra on the 7th of April. So that is all about relationships, that full moon. Also think back to what you had going on towards the end of September, early October of 2019. There may be a manifestation attached to that time frame as we have this Libra full moon. But Libra is 7th house energy, which is relationships of all kinds. And I just have to say, based on the planets, Venus moving into Gemini and Vesta moving into Gemini, there's a sense of inner balance and clarity, higher perspective, new ideas. So the main theme for Aries season is like brand new everything, especially when it comes to what you're thinking about. And Gemini is 3rd house energy. That's learning and communication. So there's things that you are now coming into understanding about what you've been going through, maybe in the past few weeks, the past few months, some of you the past few years. You're all on different paths, but Aries season is a blessing for all of us. It is such mental clarity, innovation of the mind. Oh, and it's getting us out of those emotions where things can get really cloudy and muddied. Okay, so we're rising up into the mental body and seeing things from a very different perspective, because all the lessons and everything we've been going through, the experience of that is now coming into our conscious minds. And with the Aries new moon on the 24th, that is a perfect time. On the 24th of March, that is a perfect time for you to really set your intentions mentally of what you want to accomplish throughout the rest of this year, or all the way, until the next zodiac year, next March of 2021. What do you want to accomplish for yourself? What do you want to shift? What do you want to change? Because remember, you're coming into a lot of mental clarity. So around the Aries new moon, that's a perfect time to really set your intentions with the universe, and from that point, do what you can do in any given moment to help get yourself there, and just watch what takes place and happens. And then with all this energy going into Aquarius, and then this full moon in Libra on the 7th of April, there's a huge emphasis of relationships, all relationships, friends, family, romantic. So expect a lot of clarity and new beginnings in that area of your life as well. So let's pull some cards and see the overall energy of Aries season for each and every one of us. Okay, so we have Archangel Sandalphon with you now. So there is a lot going on in the world today, right? As we enter Aries season, and the archangels are with us. Archangel Sandalphon, with many of you who are watching this reading, and some of you, this is a very special and significant archangel. And with the presence of this being the first thing out in this reading, this tells me that You know, there's things that have to change and shift and be torn down, old paradigms torn down, new thinking, new ways of doing things, not just individually, but in the world at large. Okay, that's also playing out. When we do the readings, we're just looking at our own individual energies, but your individual energies are also like a reflection of what's going on in the larger scheme of things, because we are all connected. All things are connected. So the archangels are with us, ushering in, this new period of change from March 2020 to March 2023 as Saturn transits through Aquarius. All right, next out is signs from Spirit with Love. So many of you are getting different signs and synchronicities about various things in your lives. This is a general reading for each sign, for everybody. So with this showing up along with the archangel here, really pay attention to your insights, your intuition, the repeating signs and synchronicities in your external reality, and go a bit deeper about, well, what could that mean? And you know what? For some of you, finally, that is going to start making sense to you. Different signs and synchronicities that have been playing out. Because sometimes when they're showing up, we're like, well, okay, what does that mean? And you can research the animal or the number that's repeating, and you still kind of feel at a loss. So for many of you, all of those repeating signs and synchronicities where you're like, and also those, I have a feeling, and then nothing happens. You're finally going to have clarity about all of that, all right? Especially around different relationships and connections in your life. And again, just all through Aries season, pay attention to the repeating signs and synchronicities, especially feathers, because you got the angels here and I see a feather there. So feathers are letting you know that no matter what's going on, all is well, and you need to continue on your path and trust your journey. Okay, so next out is endings. You are here, or you are held. And this coming out with all this energy playing out, it's time for new beginnings. It's time for fresh starts. It's time for new energy. Thus, there are certain things, patterns, behaviors, connections, experiences that are going to dissolve and fade away. And that's to make room for the new energy, the things that are about to blossom for you and unfold. And next we have authentic self. Who are you? And what needs to fall away so this new energy can usher in is so that it's much more in alignment with who you currently are. Who you're evolving into is what I should say after your long transit of Saturn through Capricorn. So there are some things that have to dissolve and fall away, but also with that endings, some of you that have really been in the struggle with like certain emotions where you're trying to get over like a certain person or a certain situation, and why did this have to happen this way? Whether you felt things were very unfair and unjust towards you, or you really wish you had handled things differently or had more information at the time, and all of those unresolved emotions. There's a lot of healing coming into that, and I see like there's purple, a lot of purple going on up here, and that's crown chakra. So you're going to start receiving the clarity and the understanding, and some of those connections that really hurt and you've been having a hard time letting go of, you're going to be freed of that. You're going to start healing, because we are never able to let go of something, an experience or person, until we've received all it's meant to have taught us. And some of you are at the end of that cycle with that learning, with that person or that experience. So the understanding expands into the conscious mind, and the healing comes into the heart space, and you just evolve and you become stronger and wiser and like reignited, renewed for life, and you move forward. And that's what I see happening here for you guys, and it's beautiful. And the new things that are starting to sprout are in alignment with who you are now becoming, not who you used to be up to this point. All right, let's pull some more cards. You're right. Your intuition has been telling you things, but again, if certain things don't unfold the way that you felt your intuition was telling you, you could be like, no, I was wrong. No, you are right. There is so much more that you're right about than you're wrong. You've got to trust your intuition and your insights, especially during Aries season. And for many of you, you're going to start getting those validations and confirmations of different things you thought and different things you felt, but you couldn't be validated, or there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of emotion involved, so the waters were muddied up, and now it's like, everything is settling, everything is becoming very crystal clear to you and everybody else, and you're going to realize how much you were right along the way about certain people, their energy, and even things you were expecting to happen for you, but maybe they didn't happen in your time frame, and now they're starting to show up. So you're getting like reacquainted with your intuition through Aries season, and it's through a lot of validation. And again, the angels are so with you. Next is banish fear. Do not be afraid. Trust the flow of all this energy. Universal favor. There's a lot of positive things that are coming your way. That's coming for everybody as we enter the new zodiac year. And next is don't speak. So, with don't speak, because of what this is, this isn't how I would normally interpret this card. I see this more as things that have been left unsaid, unresolved. Now, either the clarity is finally coming into play, or now through that clarity, we're finally going to have communication and conversation with certain people, whereas in the past there was a lot that was held back and was not said. And next is enjoy life. So yeah, things are getting better. Happiness is going to return. This is definitely a time of clarity and understanding for everyone, for each and every one of us. And it's, we're all on different cycles, but the energy is being projected to all of us at the same time. So where you're at on your cycle is contingent upon how you will receive all this energy. But no matter where you are, there's understanding being offered to you. That's the biggest thing, especially around relationships and connections. And what wasn't said is now spoken. Truths coming to light. You may be expressing truths and confessions, others expressing truth and confessions. It's like, everybody who has truly been focused on, self-growth, improvement, spirituality in their own personal way, and taking steps towards the living their best life, doing the best they can do in any given moment. Like, that's who this reading is about, because there's this evolution coming for all of you. Okay, you've learned your lessons. You've been going through a lot of life lessons as Saturn was going through Capricorn, and now those of you who have evolved and overcome and grown beyond, all that experience is turning into wisdom and going into your conscious mind and expanding your conscious mind. And there's this beautiful evolution taking place for you guys. And some things must fall away so that things that are in alignment with who you are now, fit much better on you and you're happier. And again, I do feel there's a lot of things that will be said and shared through Aries season that's really been held back for quite some time. So let's pull some tarot and go a bit deeper. The Naked Heart. There you go. Yeah, there's purification taking place in each and every one of us. And those who are ready to evolve to the next level, it's going to happen. It's going to take place. And this new energy ushers into your life as Aries season begins. And it's like shedding the past, shedding the old, and it's just this purifying of the heart, which to me is about healing. And then again, some things that have been left unsaid, they're finally being spoken. And then this is coming out under your right. So again, you've really got to trust your intuition. And just, sometimes you'll be validated right away, and sometimes it takes a couple years. Believe me, I know the frustration of all that. But please trust what you feel inside. And if you're like, okay, is this my emotions, my random thoughts, or is this intuition? Because sometimes that can be hard to distinguish just depending on where you're at vibrationally. And the best thing I could say is when you are in that space, that's why Archangel Sandalphon is here to say, I will help you, see the difference between the three of your thoughts, your own emotions, and then your true intuition, the, messages of your soul. I will help you with that. So if you feel really out of sorts, call upon Archangel Sandalphon to help you with that, and he will. All right, under Banished Fear, we have the movement of Pentacles. So this would be the Knight of Pentacles. All is well. Things are, maybe slow moving, but you can trust this energy. It's safe. It's solid. The path you're on, like all is well. Universal favor. And what's under that universal favor? Seven of Swords. So where you truly were wronged, taken advantage of, that energy now returns to you in Aries season in a different form, in a new form. So what has been taken from you is now being returned to you by the universe. And, the Seven of Swords is really sneaky, crappy energy. And, this is a general reading, and I can't imagine anybody watching this would need this message, but I always have to go both ways, and those people who have been cunning and scheming and taking advantage and manipulating, universal favor is what they've put out to the universe is now going to be given back to them, and so all they've done is coming back. And it's not about good or bad for the universe. It's about energy. Okay. So the energy that they put out that was, lower vibration, shadow, that's the energy that returns to them. Those of you who have put out, the best you could do each and every day, walking the line, being as honest and true and authentic as you can be, all that energy is now what returns to you, especially things that were taken from you unfairly. It's like that energy now returns just in a new form. Under Don't Speak, we have the Six of Pentacles coming out. So yeah, this to me is absolutely conversations finally happening, unspoken words finally being said. And that would make sense, because we've been in this long transit of Mercury going through Aquarius and then into Pisces and then retrograding and then going direct and back into Pisces. And it's been going on since February. And now on April 11th, if Mercury finally goes into Aries. So that, to me, that whole transit that we're finishing up, that was attached to some cycles, some lessons that we've been working through, and it's heavy energy for everybody. You've got to evolve and grow. That's why we're here, and that's not always, rainbows and sunshine. Evolving and going through life lessons is painful and challenging, and that last transit there is really wrapping that up, okay, along with Saturn moving into Aquarius. That's a brand new energy as well. So with that, Mercury retrograde through Pisces being complete, and then Saturn through Capricorn now being complete, people have their mind right. They're much more centered and balanced. And, Vesta moving into Gemini as we start Aries season on the 21st, that's your inner center. So Gemini is a very intellectual energy. It's more of, up here and not so emotionally based. It's not to say Geminis don't feel emotions. I'm not talking about Gemini people specifically. I'm talking about the energy of Gemini. It's analytical, it's curious, it's intelligent, it wants to know, it wants to understand, it wants to communicate. And so, Vesta moving into Gemini, and that's your inner balance, your center, that's where you're going to be. You're going to come into clarity and understanding about everything you've been going through, because the emotional body or the emotions around it aren't as significant as they have been, because we have all this air going on and it's rising into the mental body and seeing things, from logic, from a higher perspective where the emotions can't impact that understanding. And so it's a really good time to finally have conversations, because everybody's just in a different space. And now under Enjoy Life, we have the Magician, and that just lets me know there is a lot of magic ahead for you, and that starts with Aries season. So let's clarify with some more tarot. Under the Naked Heart, we have the Lovers. Yeah, see? This is all about connections. Libra full moon is on the 7th of April. So all of April is really about your connections, romance, friends, family, all of it. You know, there's great understanding happening within you. It's time for conversation. It's time for healing and understanding, okay? And this being your right, the Naked Heart and the Lovers, there is somebody very near and dear to your heart where you've been getting a lot of insight, and the universe wants you to know that you're right about that, and you are about to be validated in that knowing. Next, we have the King of Cups under Banish Fear and Movement of Pentacles. And it really, this is the universe, like all is well. You really got to trust your path here. Next is the Six of Swords, Universal Favor under the Seven of Swords. This says you're moving on to smoother waters, especially in the mental body. And I'm not surprised, just because we have all this air energy going on in Aries season, and Aries is fire. So, you know, with fire, that's this, you know, spirit. So your inner spark is really being ignited, your fighter spirit, it really taking charge, taking over through Aries season. And then all this clarity and insight and understanding happening and unfolding for you, and, you know, energies, things that have been taken from you now returning to you in new form, communication and conversation flowing beautifully, mutual understanding with the Six of Pentacles, where both people are sharing and communicating and connecting. It's not just one person, you know, and this does come after a period of not speaking or holding something back for quite some time. And then the Magician with Enjoy Life, there you go. All right, we have the Queen of Wands coming out under this Don't Speak, and yeah, the Queen of Wands, that's fire energy in Aries season. It's finally the time to have those communication, those conversations. And lastly, we have Strength coming through. The new energies coming in, the things that are growing for you. There is longevity to it. And again, we come back to this Knight of Pentacles, where it's a slower moving energy, but it's something you can really count on. As far as, you know, energies coming through of people, we have some earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have a Gemini with the Lovers. We have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, King of Cups. And then, you know, with the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, and Strength would be a Leo. So some of you could be these signs, or this may be the sign in which you're finally going to have these conversations. And there is deep healing, okay? And with these conversations, some of you may finally, because of all the clarity and insight that's coming to you and that's happening through Aries season, you may decide that things that you wanted to say to somebody, or maybe you wanted to reconnect with somebody, you've really changed your mind about that by the end of Aries season, or by the time we have this Libra full moon on April 7th, you've changed your mind about that. And it's because of the insight and clarity and understanding that's taking place for you, but also the energy that's returning to you, that's coming back to you. It may very well change your mind in who you want to connect with, who you want to be around. And there may be some connections where you're like, nope, you are better left in the past, because no matter how much you evolve, you and I will never be on the same wavelength, or various things that's happened. Like, I can forget and forgive, but I can never allow you back in. You know, it will be different for all of you. So for some of you, there is this big mind change, and you don't want what you were asking for prior to the sun moving into Aries and Saturn moving into Aquarius, because it's like everything's changing as Saturn moves through Aquarius. And again, we start the new zodiac year with the sun moving into Aries. So there's this, internal desire for brand new energy, for brand new experiences, to do things in a brand new way. And, this is in your personal life, in your relationships, in the workplace. Some of you who are very political, your voice and how you put yourself out there and what you promote and all of those things like that. There's all this new energy coming in. So many of you are going to discover that what you thought you wanted or what you've been reaching for, all of a sudden that just doesn't fit right with you any longer. You are desiring the unknown, the unfamiliar, brand new. Like it's, many times we get very comfortable with things that are familiar to us because we know what to expect, and so we choose what's familiar over the unknown. And what I feel with this Aries season is it's the opposite of that, where it's like, you know what, I know where I've been. I don't care. I want to embrace the unknown because it can't be worse than where I've been. In fact, it can only be better. Like, it's just a whole shift in consciousness of embracing the new connections, new ideas, new ways of being and doing. And many of you, I do feel there are some new connections that are going to come into your life. They could start in Aries season, but I feel this is more of just like a map, a blueprint of the entire new zodiac year. And there is new connections, new relationships coming in, that are stronger, because we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups down here. Those are mature, wise, grown energies. And we also have the Lovers, and we have the Strength card. So these connections are very strong, and you can count on them with this Knight of Pentacles. Very slow moving but strong, stable energy. And some of you, this could be strengthening of existing connections, because we're finally feeling like we can communicate. The lines of communication are open, and not only are they open, people are receptive and they want to listen, they want to understand. All right, because of all this air energy, there's a sense of curiosity and just wanting to like reach outside of the box. And that's for everybody. We have the Magician here, so the magic is quite potent. All right, let's pull some more cards. Astral travel, caution is needed. So to me, this is the dream realm, and there's been a lot of information coming to you in the dream realm, because you've got the signs, the synchronicities, the intuition, you're right, and then now the astral travel dream world. This is like more of also a confirmation of how I said, usually most people are inclined to stick with what they know, but how it says caution needed. This is that flipping of the coin, where it's like, I want to jump into the unknown and just see wherever it will take me. And it's because of the evolution that you have achieved through, this transit of Saturn through Capricorn, and it can extend even further back, just depending on your personal life journey. Next is sacred divinity. There are two paths ahead. So many of you, there are more options and more things blooming and budding for you up ahead than you know at this moment. And that's why it's also good to let what needs to go in the past be in the past. And that could be what these paths are talking about, where do you want to loop back around to this familiar and the same experiences, or do you want to go this way and step into the complete unknown? That could be your path, okay, where you got to make that decision, because we are free will beings and it's up to you. But again, I just see many of you wanting the new energy over the past energy or the familiar. Like, I'm done with that. I've evolved. I've grown. This doesn't fit on me anymore. Okay. And then others of you, this is like multiple opportunities up ahead, and that's why everything you thought you were wanting or originally reaching for, that's why you're shifting and changing your mind about it, because you didn't imagine or expect, oh, this could happen or this could be available to me, and boom, here it is. And now we have the secret temptation, being led astray. This coming through is, now that Saturn's moving into Aquarius, there is a point where Saturn is going to retrograde and move back into Capricorn. And so Saturn will retrograde on May 11th and then move back into Capricorn around, I believe, like July 1st. And this is the card of that. And this is where, all this new stuff's happening for you guys as Aries, as the sun's moving through Aries, and then the sun will move into Taurus, and that will be like around April 19th to like May 19th or 20th. And so there's going to be, once Saturn goes retrograde, which is going to happen when the sun is in Taurus, and then again, it's going to really slip into that as we go into Gemini and then Cancer. So during all that time frame, during that retrograde, old energy of the past will show back up, and that will be where it could be the same exact situation or situation and circumstances that are very similar. And in this space, you will have new understanding and insight to make a new choice, to do things differently, to create new outcomes for you. So it's like you leave the past, you're moving ahead, you're happy, life is going. And then the past comes back in May, June, July-ish, and it may be a temptation to go back to old energy, old ways, and your team is like, don't do it. If you've made progress and you've really changed and you're somebody new, you don't need to revisit the past whatsoever, okay? No matter who it is or what it is, if you really feel you've moved on and you're in a good place, it's time to just let it go and say, nope, not this time. Because again, that Saturn retrograde energy is all about utilizing the wisdom that we've gained through the different experiences, the life lessons that we've been going through during that, long transit. And now it's time to utilize that wisdom and don't go back to the past. Like, that's a big thing. May, June, July, don't return to the past. Make a new decision, because it will create a completely different outcome for you. All right, let's pull you guys some advice for Aries season. Being with nature will give you answers. So that goes back to those signs and synchronicities, where many of you will get that through like animals, insects, flowers, trees, clouds in the sky, seeing a rainbow, a shooting star, anything connected to nature that's repetitive in your life. That's your spiritual team speaking with you, trying to guide you, and also confirm your intuition. Pay attention. And if you don't know like the spiritual significance or meaning behind a flower or an animal, just do a Google search and you will find lots of info. All right, we have life is what you make of it. Be brave and reach for the stars. Those stars being in unknown, uncharted territory, and it's time to step in and to begin. You will not be sorry. Don't let life pass you by. Be among it and live. Yes. Jump into all this new energy. Embrace it. What must fall away, just let it wash away, because all that has been taken from you is truly returning to you, just in a different form. All right. And through Aries season, I do see healing and mending and conversation and communication with various relationships and connection in your life. And whatever transpires in Aries season, like the ultimate decision of, do we just clear the air, both go our separate ways for closure, or do we maintain a connection and a relationship? Whatever is established in an Aries season, I feel is what's meant to be, whether it's something that you walk away from or something you reinstate in your life. Now, as you get into May, June, and July, when the past comes back knocking, it's no longer that space of like the connection and the healing and the mending and the understanding that would have been happening in Aries season. And this is just a general reading, but for the message I'm getting through this reading, it's like what doesn't heal and work out and mend through Aries season, it's not meant to keep forward with you on your new journey as Saturn goes through Aquarius. It's old energy that doesn't fit you anymore, and it may show back up in May, June, or July, but you're gonna feel like it's just off, like your intuition is so on point, even if it's telling you something you don't want to hear. It is so on point about people, situations, all of it. Okay, let's pull some more advice. The Green Fairy, a cheeky green fairy on your behalf, is appearing here to make you laugh. All right, so green is heart healing, and I feel some money with that for some of you. And now we have flowers, and it says, flowers will brighten up your space and create a fairy-friendly place. So there's that, connection to nature, where the same thing is going to just repeat in your reality, and that's how your spiritual team is talking to you. Oh, and now you got a 4-leaf clover. It says, you have found a 4-leaf clover. Unlucky times will soon be over. Yes, because it's all this new energy coming in, this new insight, this new understanding, this new way of being and perceiving. So, let the past go, let the healing in, pay attention to signs, synchronicities, your dreams, call upon Archangel Sandalphon. If you are having trouble trying to clarify the difference between your intuition and nervous thoughts, but expect a lot of healing and clarity around relationships and connections. Even if like this healing and clarity, like it's just happening inside of you without a conversation with somebody, all right? Because this is general, so some of you, that's how this is going to play out, and for others of you, you are going to finally have those talks and say things that have really been held back. But either way, there's deep healing and a shedding of the past, big time shedding of the past. So through Aries season, coming back to life after like a long winter, and healing to relationships and deep understanding about them, and just a lot of different things that you've been going through, and excitement returning to you, a sense of renewal, because we're starting that new zodiac year and we're in that Aries energy, and that is the beginning and a fresh start, and let me make major changes and let me be different. And you're just going to be feeling that desire, the call of the unknown. It's really exciting, actually. So those are your messages, everybody. And again, below I have linked your Saturn readings for each one of your signs, just because that's a 3-year transit and it goes much deeper than what I talked about it here in this reading. So those are your messages. I am wishing you all the best. Take care.